What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam whatsoever. You're gonna get slapped by Ricky Bobby. Oh no, that's right. Talladega Nights star Will Ferrell's character Ricky Bobby is gonna come to life and slap you unless you press the like button. Real talk though, guys, today I have a subscriber story that was sent in about a grown man going ballistic and smashing arcade machines because he kept losing. And yeah, I don't know. What makes it even worse is that he was doing this all in a Chuck E. Cheese. And if you're a grown man freaking out in a Chuck E. Cheese, I have bad news for you. Well, kind of good news. You've hit rock bottom. The only way that you can possibly go from here is up.
It's not good. Nice racking or ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million. Swear I'm a little drunk, but it's a hell of a feeling.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so Chuck E. Cheese is one of those places that is really fun when you're a kid, and then you get older and realize it's actually one of the most depressing places ever. Just like a bunch of kids with some mediocre pizza playing games that never get cleaned. And what's even more bizarre is the fact that some adults love to just vibe in Chuck E. Cheese. You're not allowed in without a kid, which means this dude apparently in this story had to have got a kid in there somehow, but this person who sent me in this story said that they were at Chuck E. Cheese when they were like 7 years old, which, you know, is around the time where Chuck E. Cheese is super duper enjoyable. I also feel like PC gaming and stuff kind of killed Chuck E. Cheese, because why am I gonna go eat crappy pizza to play garbage graphics games when I could just stay home and play Fortnite instead? But this person was at Chuck E. Cheese just doing their thing, and they said that there was a Pac-Man machine, but on the Pac-Man machine was this older looking man, definitely an adult. No way that he was supposed to be enjoying the Chuck E. Cheese machines, and he's playing Pac-Man, and he's obviously very into it, and they can tell that he's into it because he's yelling at the game, using a bunch of force to jerk around the sticks. You know, he's getting unreasonably mad every time he dies, like the ghost gets him and he's just like, no! You know, regardless, he's just throwing coins into this thing like there's no tomorrow. And the staff obviously is keeping a little bit of an eye on him, because whenever there's a grown man at 11 a.m. in a Chuck E. Cheese freaking out, chances are it's not gonna end well. I don't think any Chuck E. Cheese employee story starts with, so there was this grown man very mad at a Pac-Man machine, and doesn't end with him looking like an absolute buffoon, you know? So he's getting mad at the Pac-Man machine, and sure enough, after a while, a couple kids come up and they clearly want to play Pac-Man, and they're just kind of standing behind this guy watching, and he's obviously just failing and failing and failing, and I don't know if he was trying to set the high score or what, but regardless, at one point he turns around after dying and freaking out and sees all these kids watching them, and instead of being like, oh, do you kids want to turn, you know, or anything like that, he looks at the kids and barks like a dog, to scare them away. So sure enough, the kids leave him alone, and he giggles and puts another coin in the machine, dude, which, let's be honest, why pick this Pac-Man machine, dude? If you live in a city, there's gotta be more than one Pac-Man machine. There's no way the only Pac-Man machine is in a Chuck E. Cheese. And if you hate kids that much, maybe just get your own Pac-Man machine, dude. If you've been playing Pac-Man for 6 hours straight in a Chuck E. Cheese, and you do that very often, then eventually it's just gotta be cost-effective to buy your own Pac-Man machine, right? Especially if you hate kids so much where you have to bark at them like a dog whenever they want to turn on their Chuck E. Cheese game, dude. No wonder the kids want to turn. You're at a place where a kid can be a kid, not an adult can feed his addiction, you know? That's not the saying of Chuck E. Cheese, where an adult can become an addict. That definitely is not the same business model as any branding I've ever seen Chuck E. Cheese using. So, at that point, one of the kids goes over to his mom and kind of is like, Mom, this strange man scared me away from the Pac-Man machine. So the mom decides to go over to Mr. Pac-Man and say something about it. And I guess when the mom comes over, he just basically tells her, you know, in not nice words. I guess the kid wasn't super close to it, but he must have said something mad and mean, because the mom kind of storms over to the employees with the sass of a woman whose kids were just insulted by the grown man freaking out at the Pac-Man machine in the corner of a Chuck E. Cheese. So whatever, the man manager looks annoyed and kind of starts walking towards him. And as she gets near him, she goes, Kevin, which, like, listen, if the Chuck E. Cheese manager knows your name because you're there so often as an adult, you have a problem. Like, I don't know how this Kevin dude did not realize that he definitely needed to grow up. But if the manager of the Chuck E. Cheese is so used to complaints about you being mean to kids that she knows your name, you've gone too far. And she's like, you got to get out of here. You can't be mean to the kids. And I guess the Kevin guy was like in the middle of a run on his Pac-Man game, and he tells her, he's like, hold on, I'm almost done. And I guess the manager, on this particular day had just had enough, because she walked over to the machine, reached around the back, and did the ultimate mom move, which is just unplugging the game console. You know what I'm saying? She unplugs the cabinet that has Pac-Man in it, the arcade machine itself. And, Kevin kind of looks at her, and I guess a rage comes over his eyes, and he's like, what did you just do? Oh my god, are you kidding me? I was in the middle of the game. And starts going off about customer service, like, how dare the workers of this establishment interrupt a paying customer, da-da-da-da-da. And I guess the manager looked at him and said, you're a grown man and this is a Chuck E. Cheese. You are not our customers. Please leave. And I guess when she said that, instead of calming him down and making him realize I am a grown man screaming at somebody over a Pac-Man machine in the middle of the day and maybe I have a problem, he decided that if he couldn't play this Pac-Man machine, then nobody could. Because instead of leaving the Chuck E. Cheese like a normal person, I guess he reached back to his fist and just started punching the screen of the cabinet. But the best part is, the first punch didn't break the glass, it just like thudded. Because if you remember, arcade cabinets have that like super thick CRT glass, so I guess it took him a couple punches. But finally, he like punched through the arcade machine of the Pac-Man. At this point, the manager is like, get out, get out. And sure enough, he's like, you ruined everything. He's screaming at her, dude. And obviously this dude had some stuff going on, but like, imagine being a grown man, a 30-year-old man, punching your way through a screen of a Pac-Man game in a Chuck E. Cheese in front of hordes of horrified children and their mothers as you are just swearing and screaming at the worker for ruining your day, bro. Like, you really have to wonder how you get to that point, dude. I want to find this man and just ask him how his life went so wrong so fast, because there's no way that this was ever his plan, dude. I refuse to believe that when this kid was 6, he was like, when I grow up, I want to be a mentally unstable person who does rage things in the middle of the Chuck E. Cheese and scares children so that way they can send in content to people on the internet to turn into YouTube videos. Like, I don't think anyone chooses to be that when they're growing up, and if that is what he picked, then wow. Way to follow your dreams, man. I guess keep doing you. But honestly, does this guy not have anybody in his life that's like, hey, you're 30, you can't keep going to Chuck E. Cheese's in the middle of the day. It's just weird. But I guess what makes this even more weird is that, to go into a Chuck E. Cheese, you have to have a kid with you. And I guess he had just like found some kid and said, come to Chuck E. Cheese with me. Like some kid that was gonna be going to Chuck E. Cheese anyways, and just walked in with him and its group and just pretended to roll with the group. Because when they were like, what kid do you have with you? He just looked all confused. This guy had snuck in with a group of people to a Chuck E. Cheese to play Pac-Man, bro. My one question is, if the manager knew who he was and was like recognizing him, how often does this have to happen? Like, how often does somebody have to come in and freak out at the Pac-Man machine before you start to recognize them as the regular? Like, oh, you're the weird dude who's constantly sneaking in and playing Pac-Man. Like, I just have so many questions on why a grown man wants to spend his free time at a Chuck E. Cheese. Just buy a Pac-Man machine. Chuck E. Cheese tokens aren't cheap either, dude. Like, high key, it's probably more expensive to play Pac-Man at Chuck E. Cheese for hours than it is to just get your own machine, because Chuck E. Cheese gotta make money somehow, and we know it's definitely not off their pizza. Remember when Shane Dawson made everybody think that stuff was getting reused? Anyways, I guess the moral of the story is once you become an adult, you are no longer allowed to go party in a Chuck E. Cheese. Regardless, maybe for like, if your friend's having a bachelor party or something, you could rent out the Chuck E. Cheese to yourself, have a private little party thing going on. But for the most part, if you are a grown man in Chuck E. Cheese, you look weird. And you definitely look weird if you decide to let all of your anger issues just go ham on the middle of this gaming cabinet so no other kids can play Pac-Man, bro. Imagine how those kids who were waiting behind him for a turn fell after he left and Pac-Man is like flickering onto the screen. game over, as, the fist hole in the middle of the screen is there. So don't be the guy to ruin Pac-Man for all the kids who still want to enjoy it, and maybe for your own self-respect, you just gotta chillax on just letting your anger out on arcade machines, dude. That's the most boomer thing I've ever heard. If you're gonna rage at a video game, you at least gotta make sure it's from this century, dude. Who gets mad at Pac-Man? Like, I just really feel like Pac-Man cannot be a very rage-inducing game. If you get mad at Pac-Man, then you definitely just have anger issues all over the place. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you pressing the like button, letting me know in the comments section down below what you thought. Go ahead and comment the word Pac-Man down below if you got this far into the video. It just helps the video do better, and I would really appreciate it. Other than that, be sure to check out the merch. The link is down below. Look at how fresh this design is. Oh my goodness, so fresh, so clean. 100% will get you, girlfriend. Other than that, I have Scrubby Stories on TikTok. It's a TikTok where I post kind of highlights of videos I've made, so if you guys want to check that out, I would appreciate it. Other than that, use code Scrubby at the G Fuel checkout. My Twitter's at Scrubby_69. Instagram is just at Scrubby, and yeah, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see you guys all tomorrow with another video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.